Good Thursday morning, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. I'm live today on Facebook and YouTube. That issue that we had yesterday seems to be resolved. So if you're watching us on that platform, some like to say, I like to watch you on the big screen. You can do that maybe a little easier on YouTube. Glad to have you all on the different platforms because we want to get the information out. We've got some rain that's in the forecast. We had some record highs now in our rear view mirror, but we're not going to be that warm today. Sure, we'll get into the 70s, but it's going to get gradually cooler as the afternoon wears on. I'll talk about that. But let me show you the visibility. Fog is sometimes and has been an issue. It's going back to August, it seems, but it seems like it's trending away from that with all the clouds overhead. I'll look for a mostly cloudy day today. I like to describe it as clouds with intervals of hazy sun because it does change from time to time. It can change from hour to hour. But when you talk about temperatures, I mean, temperatures are in the 60s. Normal low is 40 for this time of year. I mean, you think, wait a minute, something's artificially pushing these temperatures. Must be those red arrows. That's right. That's what it is. It's the red arrows. Those represent the winds coming up out of the southwest. So Oak Ridge may be 60, but it seems like it might be closer to 69 in Knoxville and 70 in Sevierville. It's like something's not right with your thermometers. No, it is. It's just, the wind is artificially propping these numbers up. So that's what we're working with this morning. Many of us are in the 60s. If you're in Sevier County, you might be closer to 70. But if you're in Rockwood, maybe closer to 57. It's just very, very interesting. Madisonville at 59 degrees this morning. You'll notice there are more clouds overhead, but we don't have, he says, we don't have rain yet. But that's going to change. A few showers will likely develop today, about a 30% chance. That's about all I expect. But then the chance of rain will go up tonight, and it'll stay pretty high right through the early afternoon on Friday. That's my expectation. Let me show you what we're looking at. Clouds are overhead. We're going to find a gray start, maybe in some cases, like we had yesterday morning, but then it got brighter. And I think we may find some residual clouds going into the early part of the afternoon before some of the clouds in Tupelo start to roll back in here. So it's all really kind of a changeable sky. But you'll notice there's not much in the way of rain at this point. That could change. Some drops of rain north of Lexington and back towards, say, Cincinnati at this particular time. As you can see, the ultimate Doppler radar presented by A1 Fincham Heating and Cooling. I should say heating and cooling because they are focused on customer satisfaction. Customer satisfaction, they won't quit until you're happy. But we do have a dry scan, a little bit of ground clutter there in Sevier County, but things look pretty nice and dry to start. Now, granted, with this drought condition that we're under, and we'll get a new drought monitor out around 8:30 this morning, it's not going to be good because we haven't had any significant rain. We haven't had any rain since the last report that came out last Thursday because it's a weekly publication from our friends at NOAA, National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Where you do find rain, however, is back toward Dallas, maybe north of Dallas, parts of Oklahoma and Arkansas, and eventually we're going to partake in some rain. But most of that rain down toward Texas, it's going to stay down there for today. So we're going to be hopeful we get some activity. If you're a snow fan, and I think there may be some of you, head to Winnipeg, my friend. They've been getting some snow right here in the early part of November, early to mid-November. And there is snow on the ground in many parts of North Dakota. They've got some snow right now in Canada over here near Montreal. And it's sliding across Vermont and New Hampshire this morning. Kind of curious to see where you are. But if you're on these crazy temperature train, when you got 69 Knoxville, 57 Rockwood, it begs the question, how warm are you this morning? I was kind of curious. If you're on the call, say hi to me. I'd love to say hi. I see Wanda getting ready for colder weather. It's coming. It's coming, Wanda. She's very, very astute. Glad you are keeping us updated. Fred says, good morning, David. Good warm morning. Absolutely. And Carrie says, good morning. Here's to a blessed day for all. She's got her cup of coffee and her heart to her as well. Marilyn Bell says, is your YouTube still broken? Can't get you there. It might have been a website issue for streaming, but I think it's been fixed. In fact, let's go ahead and take a look. All I have to do is change the tabs. And yes, I got Marilyn Bell over here. She says, I made it to YouTube. Very good. Steve Stone, good morning with his smiley face. Glad to have Steve here. Very happy for Steve. And we have air quality issues from wildfire smoke today. I've got that update for us coming up here. It's one of my slides. I've kind of taken out the tropics because there's really nothing to talk about. So I did kind of wanted to highlight a little bit of the wildfire. I'm also cognitive, or at least aware, that we've got rain in the forecast. So any fires that might be burning now, probably going to have a harder time making it to the other side of Friday because it's going to be raining and moving away. Cool morning, good morning says needed 97. So I've got a lot of folks maybe on the call for both websites, both YouTube and Facebook. Temperatures this morning, if you're just joining me, are in the 50s and say 50s from Rockwood to Madisonville. but 60s in most locations, and believe it or not, Sevierville pushing 70 this morning here on the 9th of November. Pretty amazing stuff. Jonesville, I would imagine, also in the mid-60s. But if you are curious how we did yesterday, we did not, I repeat, did not hit the 82 that I was expecting. No, no. How do you live with yourself? How do you sleep at night, Aldrich? Well, I do. I do sleep well. 81 was the actual high. So in technicality, we hit 2 record highs. We tied both. I expected a tie on Tuesday, but granted, I did expect 82 in Knoxville on Wednesday. We hit 82 in Sevierville instead. So, hey, you can't win them all. But 81 did tie a record high. It's a multiple year record high. It was 2005. We hit 81 in 1986 on that date, and now we can add 2023. So there you go. So multiple days have hit 81 in the first 8 days, the 8th day of November. So those record highs now in the rearview mirror because it's just not going to be that warm. But you wouldn't know that from this morning. You're thinking, man, if it's 69 now, we're going to be 90 today. No, not going to be 90 today. Not even going to be 80. It's not even going to barely get to 75 because this is an approaching front, lots of clouds. We're not going to have the bright sun-filled skies that we had yesterday. But it is 70 in Nashville. That's kind of interesting. And it's 56 degrees currently. Johnson City. But when you're this warm, you might think we'd stay on this path or this trajectory. That's just not the case. If you're looking for winter, look no further than the Dakotas. Rapid City's 28 this morning. It's 30 in Denver. It's 24 in Caribou. Now, I know you wouldn't want to be in Caribou right now, but hey, Caribou, at least, they're enjoying some winter weather in Vermont, New Hampshire, so if you are a fan of the snowflakes, they are falling over there. That might be a road trip, possible road trip for you if you're mentally there. You might be daydreaming. I got to get a web camera. I got to go to Vermont. You can do that. Wind speeds, 14 miles per hour, 12 in Wartburg. I suspect 5 to 15 today. I wanted to show you the snapshot from our friends at the Department of Agriculture. Active fires that are burning are in red. Some of the brown ones are all contained, so we've had quite a few fires, and that might account for some of the plumes of smoke that you've been seeing or smelling the last couple of days. The one that's in Anderson County, at the top of this map here, I'll put a map there, that's Anderson County, that's Scott Brogan Lane, that's almost 400 acres, but it's 95% contained this morning. So it's good to know they're contained. I think a lot of us are shell-shocked, as we should be, going back to the Gatlinburg fires. We don't like fires. They're not anything we want to see here. But when you get these drought conditions, you get strong winds, naturally, and people burn their leaves, things can get out of control pretty quickly. I think we'd all agree. It's just not advisable. Not advisable. Wait till this rain gets in here, and then you can maybe necessarily do what you have to do. But I'll tell you what, the fires that have been burning have made some of the smoke quite noticeable over the last couple of days. Sunrise and sunset today, 7:06. Sunsets at 5:33. So our days are in fact short. You'll notice a lot of clouds. My planner, if you'll notice, our high temperature comes in middle of the afternoon. It's like a 1 or 2 p.m. situation. Because by the time you get to 5 o'clock, you're back to 70. You see why we're not, I repeat, not headed to 80 or 90. we're headed to the mid-70s, and then we're going to put a stop to it with this approaching front. So clouds, hazy sun today, 30% chance for a few showers as they develop, and you'll notice we're back in the 60s by 6 and 7 o'clock in many parts of the valley. Temperature 75 Knoxville. I did lower that by 2 degrees. I've maintained the mid-70s for Newport, 76 where Wanda is, 68 though for Crossville. So for expectations in Oneida, Wartburg, Morgan County, Fentress County, Scott County, and Cumberland County, please take note you may not even get out of the 60s today. And that's just associated with the approaching front. It's going to be a little cooler north and west. Headlines. Boy, am I happy to say this. Some rain to end the week. Yay! But will we get a whole lot? I'm going to show you some of the projections here in mere moments. Sharply cooler tomorrow. When I say cooler, yes, we may start off in the mid to upper 50s once the sun starts coming up, but we're going to finish the day in the 40s. So grab the jacket tomorrow. Not going to need it this morning, but you will need it tomorrow, and with the rain showers on the increase right through about 2 o'clock. I think between till 2 p.m. Most of the rain will be Friday, tonight, Friday morning into the early afternoon, but should begin to taper off. I don't think a 5 p.m. drive home tomorrow will be problem-filled with rain because it will be pretty much on the way out. However, some rain showers are still possible on Sunday with this southern system. I mentioned it moving toward Atlanta. Well, the models are all over the map. It keeps appearing and disappearing about Sunday. So I've left a 40% chance of rain on Sunday. Here's the future rainfall through about 7 o'clock tonight. And if this faster solution is pleasing to the eye, because most everybody, Newport might be accepted there, there are at least a few drops make it to your household by 7 o'clock tonight in most cases. But once we move into the overnight, those drops should multiply. Many of us should pick up some rain in Newport and maybe pick up a quarter to a third of an inch. It's not that impressive. That takes you through 11 o'clock Friday. I think most of us is done probably by 2 or 3 in the afternoon as it begins to exit the Smokies to the right of that map. Now, future rainfall number 2, because there is disagreement, as there might be and should be in some of the modeling, this doesn't barely bring the rain into Oak Ridge, Knoxville by 7 p.m. So this solution is clearly much slower solution getting the rain in here today. And you might be scratching your head. I thought it was supposed to rain today. 30%. Left a 30% chance of rain today. If we get the faster solution, then hot dog, yay, we get some more rain faster. But once we move into Friday, most of the drops of rain here are on the light side as well. This would suggest about a quarter inch for Middlesboro, about a quarter inch for La Follette, and not much more than a quarter inch there in Oneida. So 700s in Knoxville would not be very impressive. We need every drop that we can get. I know some of you might be on the road, if not today, maybe tomorrow. Saturday, big game up in Columbia, Missouri. Go Big Orange. I had to keep modifying. I mean, this is also interconnected with that southern rainmaker on Sunday. Do they stay warm or do they cool faster? It's a cooling trend, I'll say, for the Missouri game, as I do think they'll drop about 10 degrees during the course of the game, but 58 looks like a reasonable start point with lots of sun, and finishing the game also in the upper 40s. So fourth quarter, about 48 degrees. Go Vols. Now we have a brisk wind at the moment from the south and west at 69 degrees at McGee-Tyson, and we have relative humidity at 63%. I want to say good morning to you once again. Happy to be on both platforms again today. Marilyn's on here, Steve's on here, Needed 97's on here on YouTube, and on Facebook I got Becky. She says, "Go Big Orange." Yes, that was pretty fast. She was fast on the typing there. I'm very excited about that game. I mean, they're both 7-2. Could you? I mean, I know one's Vols are ranked 14. They're ranked number 16. This should be a great, evenly matched game. I don't know what Vegas is doing on the odds, but I'll tell you what. It's going to be an interesting game. Tim says, loving the potential this winter. I think it's everything is in perspective, but yes, I think it has a lot of potential, Tim. You're right over the mark there. Becky says, yay, rain. And Wanda Poe mentions that Veterans Day is this Saturday. Thank you for your service. All those who have served, thank you for that. I've got 3 members of my family have served, and one is actually actively serving even as I speak. So even though Veterans Day is Saturday, I hope that you'll thank them for their service if and when you see them walking around. By the way, precipitation chances. I got 30% today, 80% on Friday. And as I alluded to, it's kind of like trying to peg Jell-O to the wall. Will we get this rain on Sunday? Now, I like to think about this in this perspective. If Sunday were, and it's not, but if it's not, a snowmaker. Ooh, you didn't just say, if it were a southern slider, and this would be putting gray hairs in every meteorologist's head across East Tennessee. I do believe that. But if we have this pattern where we get these little southern systems where you don't really know what's going to happen until like the day before, that's snow and winter in East Tennessee, my friend. So I encourage you to join us on the premium service. Go to CaptainAccurate.com. We're talking about weather weeks in advance. Tim kind of alluded to it, but this does have a very interesting perspective. This winter has a lot of potential moving forward in the days ahead, even through Thanksgiving. Even through Thanksgiving, things could be vastly different than they are today. Now, the Storm Prediction Center here at 654. Got some thunderstorm potential, nothing severe, but thunderstorm potential in light green in Arkansas, parts of Oklahoma, as well as Texas. That's today's outlook. We will be getting some rain today, but no thunder expected. You won't have any lightning alerts sounding off on the Captain Accurate Weather app today. Now, tomorrow, Houston might have a few general thunderstorms in southeast Texas, but again, rain comes into town tomorrow, but it is void of any thunder. And the same is true for Saturday all across the lower 48. Looks really nice. Pretty rare to find dry weather, or at least thunder-free weather across the lower 48, but that's what's projected by our friends at the Storm Prediction Center for Saturday. So here's the futurecast. How quickly can some of this rain appear? You might be wondering. Here's where we're going. Lots of clouds. Hazy sun thrown in for some of those breaks. And then if you squint, you might see a few drops of rain in La Follette by midday today. And if this were to verify, drop for drop, it could be raining in parts of Granger County and maybe between Oneida and Jamestown from Scott County to Fentress. Once we move into 3:30, this model says, nope, most of it's in southeast Kentucky. We get into 5 o'clock, maybe a few showers in Sevierville. Maybe Sevier County could be benefiting from some drops of rain. But you'll see how slow this is. It's like a slow trickle to get in here, and then it gets a little more aggressive later tonight. A couple of showers make it into Knoxville here by 11 o'clock on this model, where temperatures are still around 60. So if you're still around 60 at midnight, it's going to be an upside-down day tomorrow where our high comes in shortly after midnight. By the time you get out the door, 6 a.m. maybe on Friday, we're in the low 50s in Morristown, already in the 40s. Crossville, Jamestown, Oneida with a wet situation there, rain in Middlesboro, but it's 54 in Knoxville. And it's only going to get colder. So we may be falling through the 50s tomorrow, but we're going to be dropping into the 40s. So let me say that again. Tomorrow, we're going to be falling through the 50s rather quickly, and then just dropping right into the 40s. So like, boop, here we are. And you're going to say, where's my jacket? I didn't know it was supposed to be this cold. It's going to get cold, as advertised from Jamestown, Oneida, pretty quickly. Once we move into 7 a.m., we're about 52. We're already in the 40s in Wartburg and Kingston by midday, and Knoxville could be about 49 at lunchtime tomorrow, with most of the rain gone between noon and 2. So a lot of that rain will be moving on and out of the picture. And then the sun may break out by 5 o'clock Friday. You might need your sunglasses as it begins to move away. Saturday looks good because it's rain-free. That's good if you got evening plans or day plans. But certainly on Thursday, as today that front moves through, we get a little bit colder in the latter part of the day. All the reinforcements of rain come in like so, and a lot of the yellow areas, you'll notice, head toward Kentucky and West Virginia. And there are some snowflakes in blue and pink showing up in the mountains of West Virginia by 7 o'clock by this time tomorrow morning. So we're keeping an eye on that for those who like, maybe you're a snowboarder, maybe a skier. I'm sure they would love to get some snow, early snow up there. But some of the rain you see tomorrow will begin to exit pretty quickly. A little bit of sun breaks. And then on Saturday, while it stays dry, some of the models want to bring the rain in Atlanta and surge it northward. Maybe see I can see that. Oh, there's some of it. There it is. See the rain in Atlanta? Some of it wants to bring it all the way up to Knoxville, McGee-Tyson. So if this is a southern slider, there's a lot of wiggle room here. I mean, is it going to be here? Is it going to be here? You mean you can't figure that out? Models haven't been able to figure it out. They're still scratching their head. In fact, I believe we've gone from believe they had gone from anywhere from a 60 to 80% chance yesterday afternoon, then back to about a 20%. So there's still some wiggle room. I'm confident that some of us, especially south of I-40, will get some rain on Sunday, but it may be quickly moving out. It's going to be depending on how quickly that front moves and how it might behave here in the future. Clouds and hazy sun today, few showers, 30% chance. It is now 6:58. I hope to be able to answer some of your questions. I see one from Darcy. She's on here. She says heavy clouds, but beautiful temperatures this morning. She's comfortable with that. Oh, it's very warm. But tomorrow, we'll be in the 40s and 50s tomorrow morning, and those 40s starting off in the plateau. Wanda says, yay for your premium service. It's great to learn a lot from it, and everyone needs to get it. She's very excited about it, as I am. Danny says, good morning, David. Hope you have a wonderful day. Go Vols. Bob Alford says, good morning, David. Glad to have Bob here, as we were talking about just a moment ago, of how these temperatures today will be the last warm days in quotation marks for at least the next couple days. Certainly a colder outlook is coming tomorrow. 68 for a high temperature in Oneida. That may come early in the latter part of the morning, and 70 in Middlesboro. Sevierville's already at 70. But you may kind of flatline in terms of temperature. You may not move much. It will only reach up to 69 Nashville, 66 Jackson, Tennessee, and about 75 for Huntsville if you're doing some traveling today. So for tonight, down to 52 for Knoxville. More clouds, more showers. That goes up to a 60% chance tomorrow. 50 for Morristown, Talbot, White Pine, Granger County, Rutledge, about 50 degrees. Jefferson City, about 50 for your low temperature tonight. I should say tonight. 48 in Sevierville, 51 Tellico Plains, about 50 for Kingston, Rockwood, Harriman, and Crossville's low, about 43 tonight. Here's your Captain Accurate Weather Authority forecast for Knoxville, East Tennessee. I made a big old arrow, put an arrow there for Friday, because it's a tumble down, trying to be as precise as I can be. For those that work the third shift, you may enjoy, say, midnight to 4 a.m. You're in the mid-upper 50s. But it gets colder as the day gets underway with the sun popping up. 62 for Veterans Day, 58 for Sunday if, in fact, we get some of that rain. And right now, like I said, it's bouncing like a ball and trying to pin that down. We'll have another look at it today. 65 for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So even though we might get rain on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, it does look colder in the mornings. 30s for Tuesday morning, Wednesday morning. But at least the sun's out. And it is going to be continued dry. Like I said, we could use every drop of rain. It's just, in terms of quantity, it's just not all that impressive. By the way, if you haven't noticed, we have a new update on the free Captain Accurate weather app. This update includes a dark mode, which is easier on your eyes. It also helps you be able to make out or discern the snow that's pictured on the left on the Great Lakes. The Great Lakes. The improved lap speed, the improved laps bar are fantastic. But what I love most is the fact that you now have at your disposal, with the play button at the bottom, the past 2 hours, the current radar, and the future model radar all combined in one product seamlessly. So how this works is if you hit that button, that little cloud will slide across the map, slide across your app, and you'll get past, present, and future just like that. Awesome. All we need now is some precipitation, because oftentimes, if you're like my mother, and my mother, she's not the most weather savvy, but she's become weather savvy, just being related to me, right? She has said, David, when's that rain going to get here? That's all she ever, I could show her, hey, Mom, look at this rain. She'll say, but when's it going to get here? That's all she wants to know. So if you hit the play button, she can now see where it's been, where it is, and where it's going, all in one button. Don't have to hop back and forth to a different product. So I love that. If you want to make sure you download the Captain Accurate Weather app. Plus, as Wanda Poe mentioned, my premium service has already seen my winter weather outlook. This is a 15-minute video where I break down every component that I could think of for this upcoming winter and how it may play out. It's now online. If you go to CaptainAccurate.com, you sign up. It's very easy and very, very affordable. It's the best bargain at East Tennessee for weather. It's $4.99 per month. For the whole month. 1 cup of coffee for the whole month gets you all of that plus so much more. You get all the other information, including first to see my snow forecast this winter before everybody else does. So we can talk about all that interests you, but if you're interested in weather that's beyond 7 days, I encourage you to join us on the premium side, which you'll find here on Facebook. So very thankful for you all. I know this is an interesting day because we can get some rain, but let's be hopeful we get more tonight and early on Friday, especially in the morning. Well, my name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate. It's not easy being accurate, so weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.